everyone, in this video I am going to show you how to make this solid granny square that I am making for my Christmas afghan, which is a crochet along. So you're going to need a worsted weighted yarn. This is Vanna's Choice Lion Brand in the color Fern, and you're going to need an eye hook, or it's a 5.25 millimeter, a tapestry needle, and some scissors to weave in your ends, and also a measuring tape to check your gauge in the beginning. So these squares are 7 inches across and 7 inches down. You don't have to make the whole square to check your gauge. After 2 rounds, it should be 2.5 inches across. So if it's a bit smaller, that should be okay. If it's a lot smaller than 2.5 inches, you'll probably want to up your hook size to maybe a J or even a K, depending how small those 2 rounds were. So to get started, you're going to make a magic ring. And then chain up 2. And then in this ring, we're going to double crochet 10 times. 1, 2, 3, and you could pull this tight as you go. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then once you have 10 double crochets, go ahead and pull that magic ring tight. So when we join, we're going to join to the first double crochet, not this chain 2, the first double crochet. So go ahead and join there, and that's the first round. For the second round, we're going to chain up 2, and then we're going to make 2 double crochets into each stitch around. So that will give us a total of 20 double crochets. So go ahead and
make 2 double crochets into each stitch around for the second row.
once you've done that, you can join to the first double crochet in that row. So that makes the circle part of the granny square. For row 3, we are going to work on making this circle into a square. So go ahead and chain up 2, and you're going to do 1 double crochet right into that same space. Next, we're going to do a half double crochet in the next 2 spaces. 1, 2, and in the next space we're going to do 1 double crochet. So that makes one edge of the square. Now in the next stitch we're going to make a corner, and for a corner we're going to do 2 double crochets into that same stitch, a chain 2, and then we're going to go back into that same stitch and double crochet twice. 1, 2. So that completes an edge, or I'm sorry, a corner, an edge and a corner. So now we're going to do another edge, which is a double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then a double crochet in the next stitch. That makes the second edge. Now we need to make another corner, 2 double crochets in that same stitch, chain 2, and 2 double crochets back into that same stitch. So you can see that this square is starting to form. So we're on to our third edge. In this next stitch we're going to do a double crochet, half double crochet into the next 2, 1, 2. In the next stitch, a double crochet. That finishes our third edge, and then we're going to do another corner, 2 double crochets in that next stitch, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets back into that same stitch to make that third corner. So we have one more edge and one more corner to make. So in the next stitch, a double crochet, half double crochet in the next 2, double crochet in the next, and then for our last corner, 2 double crochets, 1, 2 in that same stitch, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets back into that same stitch. And then we join to that first double crochet that we made in the round. And that is the third row, and that makes it into a little square. So there's 6 rounds total for this. For the next 3 rounds, we're just going to be making the square bigger. So chain up 2, double crochet in that same space, and then we're going to double crochet across until we get to this chain 2 space from the previous row. So go ahead and double crochet across until you get to that chain 2 space. Once you get to that chain 2 space, we're going to do the corner, and that's the same as the previous round. We're going to be doing 2 double crochets into that same space, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets again into that same chain 2 space. So that makes our corner, and then for the edges, we're just going to double crochet all the way across until we get to that chain 2 space again. Once we get to that chain 2 space, we're going to make another corner, double crochet 2 times in that same space, chain 2, double crochet 2 times again into that same space. Now for another edge, just double crochet all the way across, 1 in each stitch. Now we're back to another chain 2 space. Go ahead and make another corner, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that same space to make that corner. Now we're at another edge, just double crochet all the way across, 1 in each stitch. Now we're at the last chain 2 space. Go ahead and make another corner, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that same space. Now you're going to notice a little gap between where we started from the corner. All you're going to have to do is double crochet 2 times until you get back to that first double crochet. And then go ahead and join into that first double crochet. And that completes the 4th round. So our square is just getting a little bit bigger. For row 5, we're essentially going to be doing the same exact thing. So chain up 2, double crochet into that same space, double crochet all the way across until you get to this chain 2 space. And then when we get to that chain 2 space, we're going to do a corner, which is 2 double crochets into that same space, a chain 2, and 2 double crochets back into that same space. And again, for the edge, we're going to double crochet 1 in each stitch all the way across. Again, we're at this chain 2 space, so we're going to make a corner, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that same space. And that makes a corner. Okay, another edge, double crochet all the way across, 1 stitch in each, and again we're at this chain 2 space, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that same space to make a corner. The last full edge, we're going to double crochet all the way across, 1 stitch in each. And then now we are at our last chain 2 space. We're going to make another corner, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that same space. So again, when we come to the end, we're going to have a little bit of a bigger gap. This time it's going to be 4 stitches. So double crochet 4 times until you get to the beginning of the round. And then go ahead and join to the first double crochet. So that was the 5th row. The 6th row is exactly the same. The only thing that's going to be different is the gap is going to be 6 stitches to close up at the end. So if you're comfortable with that, go ahead and do row 6 on your own, or you can crochet along still. So I just did chain 2, and again we're going to double crochet across until we get to this last chain 2 space. Okay, we're at the chain 2 space. We're going to make a corner, 2 double crochets into that same space, a chain 2, 2 double crochets back into that same space to complete the corner. For the edge, we're going to double crochet all the way across, 1 stitch each until we get to another chain 2 space. Okay, we're at this chain 2 space, so we're going to double crochet 2 times, chain 2 times, and then double crochet 2 times back into that same space to make that corner. And again, we're going to double crochet all the way across until we get to the next chain 2 space from the previous row. Okay, we're back to that chain 2 space. We're going to double crochet 2 times, chain 2, and double crochet 2 more times back into that same space to complete the corner. We're at our last full edge, so go ahead and double crochet all the way across, 1 in each stitch. Okay, now we're at our last chain 2 space. Again, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets back into that same space to complete the corner. And now our gap is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. So go ahead, close that gap by just double crocheting into each of those stitches, and that will bring you back to the beginning of round 6. And then to finish it off, go ahead and join to the first double crochet. Fasten off. Cut your yarn. I leave just a little bit to weave in at the end. So you'll want to weave in this end here, and then also in the back where you made the magic ring, you will want to tie a knot and then weave it in, just so when you're washing, the magic ring doesn't come undone. So that is our completed granny square. I hope this was helpful. If you want to subscribe, you can, to keep updated with new crochet videos. Thanks for watching.